Welcome back to the Free Miles MC. Today we're doing the first episode on where I get my Yamaha XJ 600 back in shape. For the ones that are new here, this bike has been quite a bike until now. We have went with this bike through the Sahara Desert, through Iceland and all the way through Italy, with loads of off-roading and also with putting this bike on dirt tires. I've bought this motorcycle for 500 euros 2 years ago, and it has been running fine for all this time, and about 8 months ago it stopped working, and I tried to fix it myself for quite some time, but I couldn't get it done. So now is kind of the second try where I'm trying to get this bike back on the road. So let's have a look on what we're starting with here. So let me show you what we're working with here. This is the Yamaha XJ. The seat is a bit done because when I tried to repair it earlier, oil dripped on it, because I have to be honest, I have very little clue of what I'm doing. I had some help with another bike in another motorcycle garage, and that's kind of all the knowledge I'm bringing with this. On that note, I can show you my tools. Here I have some fuel so we can get the bike started, and those are my tools here. It's a toolbox that I've gotten from Louis, and yeah, that's kind of it. So, what are the problem zones on the bike? Apparently something is wrong with the carburetors. I've cleaned them before on my first attempt, but maybe I need to redo that because the bike has been sitting for over half a year, and also the bike hasn't been starting after. Maybe the bike isn't getting any fuel, so I will have to probably replace the fuel cock and maybe the fuel pump. Also, the bike will need new tires. As you can see, the tires are quite down. And yeah, and probably all the bearings from all the off-roading in Iceland are also gone. So yeah, and this is the room that I'm kind of working with here. Let's put on that light. Yeah, as you can see, here are the interceptor. Here's the interceptor, and here are the interceptor parts. And I don't own this garage alone. As you can see, there's another car standing from someone else. And yeah, this is kind of what we're working with, and let's try our best to get this bike back on the road. When I announced that I'm going to do this, many people already wrote me stuff that I have to get to be able to do this. And one of you guys was so kind to reach out to me and wrote me a little list of things that I should order, and I've gotten all these things now from Amazon, so let's have a look. We got some lube for all the different screws and gears. Let me unpack this properly. A bunch of screws and the things that you put under them. I don't know how they're called. Yeah, basically all kind of screws that I could need. Same goes for copper rings. And here we have some foam to polish all this stuff. And here we have a fuel bottle, kind of like in a hospital, but for a motorcycle, so we don't always have to put on the fuel tank. So let's get going with those things and see how far we can get. As you can see, there's no battery in here. That's because this bike is first of all getting a new charged battery, because it can't hurt. So let's go. This one away, this one over there. So as I am here installing the red one before the black one, I want to tell you this is not really a tutorial, just kind of. You can definitely take away some good knowledge here, but don't see this as a tutorial. This is more me showing that if you have zero clue what the fuck you're doing, and also don't have the money to pay for someone to fix your bike, you can somehow get it done. And the battery is in. So now that we have the battery in, let's get some fuel. Because it's better to see if the thing fires up through some kind of miracle over the last half year and to now work super much to get it to fire up. So let's have a try first to just be sure that it doesn't start. So let's go. Oh shit, of course this doesn't work. Our hose is broken. For fuck's sake. This is kind of the first thing I already found out, that most of the time shit just doesn't work. So let's have another try. Okay. Oh no, now it starts to rain. Oh, where's the cover to close this shit? As it now starts to rain, we need to get the motorcycle inside. I want this shitty thing to just close. Okay, apparently this thing doesn't hold jack shit when it comes to fuel without leaking like crazy, so over here, and we're going to find a zip tie solution in a minute. So let's get the bike inside and safe from the rain. Okay. All good. We have barely any artificial light in the garage, but I have a solution for this. I have this big ass stage light with me. For fuck's sake. Let's build up this thing. Without knocking anything over, especially not the fucking fuel bottle. Yo. For fuck's sake. So. For fuck's sake, can this now work? Why the fuck does it now not work? Ah, now, finally. Yeah. So, as you can see, we have some proper light. So let's go. Let's get this thing started. Let's get these zip ties and zip tie that thing somewhere. Okay. So for now, let's put this thing up right here. As you can now see outside, it's now properly raining. Okay, let's get this hose on here. Right. Scheiße. So as you can see, I just drove home through the rain to get some more power outlets, longer cable so we're not as restricted with the light. And because I cannot get this fucking fuel hose from the fuel bottle, the cheap shitty thing that's not even tied from Amazon, onto the thing, I've gotten us a hairdryer from my mum. So, so that we somehow can get this thing on there. Let's go. With no hairdryer in the world, we're going to heat this up enough so it fits on here. So my attempt would be to take this hose. This is the hose from the fuel pump. This is the fuel pump, by the way, for anyone who wants to know. And try to get this end in there. So let's go. So I think we've done it. So now that we have this thing on the carburetors, kind of Murphy's Law, a thing that I should have checked first is the battery seems to be completely dead, the one that I bought. Also with the thing that sees how much voltage is on the battery, apparently the battery is completely empty. I've gotten this battery brand new from my old job. Also the people that worked on this bike before. So we are back half an hour later. One lesson I'm already learning is when you're doing this, you will be constantly driving around in your car getting shit that doesn't work. One more lesson, if a source of material has already proven to be unreliable with shit that just doesn't work. The stuff is often coincidentally broken. Change the source of material, because this is what just happened with the battery. And now everything seems to be fine. So why I've been doing all this with getting this fuel bottle there, that is kind of to eliminate the error source of the fuel cock and the fuel pump. And there's also no airbox on the motorcycle now, so we can kind of see what's going on with the carbs. And the motorcycle doesn't need the airbox to run when you're doing it like this. So let's go. Let's put this thing on, and let's start this thing, or let's at least try to start it. Yeah. Let's give it some choke. Our choke is already there. Nothing, as expected. So let's see what could be the reason for that. The reason is probably still the choke, or we check if the thing has spark. So next up, let's see if the spark plugs do spark stuff, you know? I now have new spark plugs, and we will now get them installed and see if the bike then fires up after it almost fired up. So let's get going. Moin. So it is now quite dark. The last thing. So it's now completely dark outside and at night. The last thing I'm going to do today is I just checked all the little cables if they have some kind of spark, and none of them had any. Which must be my lack of mechanical knowledge, that for some reason if the thing isn't in the engine it doesn't get any spark or something, because all cables not having spark is quite unrealistic, as the engine already made some sounds when trying to see if one of the spark plugs had spark earlier when the others were still in the engine. And or maybe I'm imagining things or something. If you know what's up with that, you can definitely feel free to leave that in the comments. Yeah, so I now put all the spark plugs back into the engine and hooked it up again to fuel. And we will now see if the engine makes some kind of sound of it starting or something, to see if there's some kind of spark, basically, because we need to check if the thing has spark. If it doesn't, we need to get new cables. Maybe I need to get new cables anyway, because it's odd. Usually you would check if the motorcycle has spark by taking out the spark plug, putting it into that cable and seeing if there's something happening between the two contacts, and there's just nothing happening on any of the cables. So maybe we need complete new cables, or I don't know what's going on. At least I want to try this, to not buy new cables for nothing. So let's go. I also have some starter spray right here. Let's go. I'm going to check now with a wet finger which exhaust ones are hot. So I now touched the different exhaust pipes, and the first one was cold completely, so for some reason there's no spark, even though there's a new spark plug in there. The second one was hot like crazy. My glove instantly melted. And the second one was also hot. And the last one, I don't know. I don't think it was hot. So the middle two cylinders are running. And probably if they're revving higher, they're taking the other two with them. Out of this cylinder right here, there's stuff shooting outside of the carburetors where the thing gets air. So we're not running on all cylinders. So I think we're probably running on two cylinders, the two ones in the middle. I don't know what's causing this. Maybe the cables are broken, or I don't know. We need to figure this out. The engine runs and starts. If anyone of you knows possible solutions for this problem, definitely feel free to write them in the comments. If I did something wrong and there's stuff that I could do better, also feel free to leave that in the comments. I appreciate any kind of help. And if you like this video series where I, as a complete beginner, basically try to get this bike running again, definitely feel free to subscribe and leave a like and a comment, of course. Here's another sound clip of the engine. Maybe someone in the comments can do some kind of distance diagnostics with how the engine sounds and can tell me whatever could be wrong.